I need an intro song. Welcome to the show. I'm just kidding. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Man, I'm really sleepy. So I was gonna make a video about a week ago. But actually, I didn't. I bought a bed off of Amazon and it was sent to me. It took me forever to get up the stairs because I injured my back and one of the boxes was 100 pounds and I was like, no, that's not even gonna happen. And so by the time I got it upstairs, I decided, okay, I'm gonna wait until my back is done hurting and then I can build my bed. So today I took on the task of building my bed. I started pretty late. I started about 5 o'clock, which was a mistake. I should have started way earlier. As I was unboxing everything, I wanted to lay everything out first so that I knew what I wanted to tackle first, or knew what I was supposed to tackle first, but I knew I had all my parts before I even start. I checked, I had all my parts, I was good, ready to go. So, I started making the bed or whatever, and there's this little nugget. It's like the J&R Jones suit, I don't even know. It's a weird little nugget, and it has like a part where you can screw through, but the top is also a screw, and you put it inside of a little hole, and there's like a little hole, small holes. I couldn't find that to save my life, and I was like, okay, maybe the picture's just wrong, because there's this other one that I usually call a cam, and I've used them before, and I was like, this kind of looks like it, like, I mean, close enough, it's gonna work. It does the same thing, it's just a different size. I was like, okay, well, the holes aren't drilled big enough for this, so I was smart, and I took a Sharpie and a hammer, and I hammered the Sharpie in there, so it made it lighter, and then I took the cam and I screwed it in, and then I hammered it in the rest of it all the way in. So I got all of the pieces in, I think there's 24 cams that I had to insert into the frame. And as I'm going, and then I finished other things, and about 3 hours past that, I did the cams in, and I started to go put the screws in with like the cams on, and they weren't fitting, and they weren't lining up, and I started looking at the directions, and I was like, well, I have a bunch of other cams like what it goes for, and I kept looking through, and I realized that the cams went to the drawers, not the actual bed frame part, and that the other nuggets were in another box that I didn't check twice, and so I had to take all of them out, had to take a nail and hammer it in through the back part of it, knock out the metal piece, and it like ruined a bunch of it, but so after like redoing 3 hours worth of work, like undoing it and then redoing it, I finally got the bed put together, and but I dropped that on me so many times, like all the big pieces are so heavy. I like cut my foot twice in my leg, and I cut my leg so many times. And then I sliced my finger open. I don't know if you can see that. Now I see why everybody has to do this. Look at that. I sliced my finger open. Well, there's just a band-aid on it, so I don't know why I was showing you. So I've been super tired, and I'm ready to just go to bed, but I was like, I need to make a video. So I have my little light projecting on my wall, and my bed's finally together. I bought these new sheets. Oh, I don't even know if you can see. See this color? They're beautiful. This is my comforter. It's like orange and teal. It's a lot scarier being on my own than I thought it was going to be. Not that I'm financially completely on my own. I do have to say thanks to my mother and my father. They, even after I graduated high school, have really helped me a bunch, and they don't have to. At the age of 18, they can take you out and do whatever they want to. I mean, they're done with you, but my parents really helped me a lot, and that means a lot to me. But it's terrifying sometimes. The fact that, oh my god, I'm an adult now, like, I have to pay my own bills and do my own things. Okay, so I don't know what my parents were doing when they were teaching me things that I needed to know, because it is sad that I have to go to the post office and stand in a line of 40 some odd people and asked the woman, once I finally get there, how to mail a simple letter. It's not that I need it shipped right then. Um, I didn't need to buy anything. It was like I already had the stamps, and I already had the envelope, and I already had it closed. I just needed to know, was that the right amount of stamps? How do I fill it out? And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever done, and I felt so ashamed because I'm 18, and I'm like, oh, I can't post office. I also can't laundromat or laundry or chores. I sent them all off to go get them washed. Mostly because all my new clothes I didn't know how to wash, and second, I did not have time. Third, it was cheap to do. So I sent them off, and when I went to go get them or whatever, and I brought them back, I put my blankets on my bed, and I realized that my super soft, like supposed to be super fluffy blankets that were once amazing are now burnt in so many places where they're like, they got so hot and they dried, I'm assuming, like they've kind of turned into like hard roughness. That's not English. So I was in Manhattan last night, and I was okay. I was standing outside waiting for a friend, and I was watching this woman walk, and she was like so drunk that she was stumbling so bad, and she fell over right in front of me. And for the longest time, I stared at her because she's some stranger. Like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, she was dressed really nice and she looked really pretty, but it was like I didn't want to touch her. And after she tried to get up and she kept falling, I went and I helped her up. And then I got to talking to her and asked her if she needed me to help her like get to the subway. And so I walked her to the subway, and on the way there, we were talking, and I told her that I was an actress and like I went to school and everything. And she's like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And she she said that she was the producer for an off-Broadway show. I can't come up with the name. I don't even remember. But it was so crazy. Like that, I walked this woman to a subway stop drunk. That's like the funniest thing ever. It was awesome. I was in Bed Bath & Beyond yesterday, and I bought a beanbag chair, which is the one I'm using as my little thing to hold my computer, so I can date and that computer and make a video. But I bought a beanbag chair and some sheets and a huge body pillow, which is right here, and a couple other things. So I had all this stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a taxi home. So I hailed a taxi and I jumped in, and the guy instantly was super rude, and I was like, hi, and I told him my address, and I told him exactly how to get there, like in a simple way, and it's only like 3 streets, it's like a highway, an exit, and a street, and that's like all I had to tell him. And everybody like gets me home based off that information, and that's all they need, and they're like, okay, no big deal. So I'm in Manhattan around 19th Street when I get out the Bed Bath & Beyond over there, but so I get into the taxi, and most taxis really hate going, especially when it's rush hour, because they want to make the most money, and if I have them driving 30 minutes into Brooklyn, and then they don't get paid coming back, it's like a waste of money for them. So a lot of them usually get mad. So anyways, I tell him to get there, and he doesn't say anything at first, but he is like acting rude, as in on the phone, and he's like yelling at me, asking me where I'm going, and telling them, and trying to be very respectful and sweet, but he's like super rude and annoying. And I'm talking to my sister on the phone, like I call her up after they settle everything. I'm talking to her on the phone, and then he like yells at me. He's like, "Are you paying cash? Because my card thing doesn't work, out of service." And I was like, "Oh, I only have a card. I don't have cash. Like, but there's a bank right by my house, and I can stop there, and like I can get money off from you, and I can walk from there." Like, it wasn't a big deal to me. Like, it was kind of annoying, but I mean, that was fine. I could get out and get money to nothing. It was fine. But he just like was like, but at the time he told me, I was already $10 into the ride. So it wasn't like he told me right at the beginning. It was like we went a few blocks or so. A good like maybe 6-7 blocks before he even told me. So I was like, okay. And then, so instead of doing what I said and taking my route and taking me home and getting the money off at the bank by my house, he made a detour, so it cost me more money, stopped at a bank, and was like, get money out, and I was like, okay, so I had to bring all my stuff in with me because I don't trust the taxi driver. He could have left with all of my things, and I would have never gotten them back. So I took all my stuff inside with me, and then I got the money out and I came back, and anyway, so we kept going, and once we got on the Williamsburg Bridge, he, like, started yelling at me and cussing at me, and he was like, do you understand that it's horrible to get, like, when I'm coming back, it's a headache, and blah blah blah, and Williamsburg Bridge this, and that, and this, and that. I'm like, I asked you in Manhattan if you wanted me to get a different taxi, and you said nah, so what? And he was so mean. But I was terrified because, like, he could believe me, this man could have a gun following me. And so I just kind of kept quiet, and every, like, 5 seconds he asked, like, how much further, blah blah blah, and I was, like, telling him, and finally he yelled at me, he's like, look on your map and tell me how many more streets. So as I'm pulling up my map waiting for it to load, he's like, is this Malcolm X? I was like, yes. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? You said you were going to tell me. And I was like, you had me looking at my phone. Like, I couldn't. I mean, I was looking at my tablet. Like, I couldn't. I'm looking here. How am I supposed to see the road? But anyways, so he finally got me there. And so I didn't give him a tip. Here's what happened. I was like, can I go ahead and try to start my car? He goes, out of service. He wouldn't even press the button. Like, he wouldn't even cancel the thing. He was still doing the meter. And I was like, it was so sketchy. Like, I feel like if I could have paid with a card, it'd been better. But I think he wanted cash because he didn't want to, like, turn in. And I gave him 40 bucks and it was $34.80. And I was like, he gave me back $3 and I was like, no. So he gave me back 4 and I was like, no, all of my cash. He gave me back 5 and I was like, where's my 20 cents? Which I know is rude and, like, totally uncalled for. But this guy had cussed at me and yelled at me and treated me like shit and was like, the whole guy was like, and I'm like, so I took down all of his information and I've yet to call because I didn't tip him. And I know that sounds stupid. Somewhere in there I have like this idea that I shouldn't do that. Shouldn't give him in because, like, what if he has a family and kids, right? Okay, everybody on YouTube has a really cool outro and intro and I have like nothing. Like, I don't know how to outro. This is my outro. Subscribe!